Let's talk to Andrew Laundo, astronomer and space expert, because last night we were supposed to see a blue supermoon, which was going to be spectacular. And we saw a brilliant sun yesterday morning. Not so much today. It seems to have disappeared behind a load of clouds. So let's find out from Andy what's going on. Andy, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
So, I don't know whether you saw the supermoon last night. I didn't. And I presume it's because it was a bit cloudy in London. Depends on which part of the country you're in. I haven't heard from anybody who saw it. Was it visible last night?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was cloudy where I was as well. I didn't actually get a good look at it till something in the region of, let's have a look, about 2:15 in the morning.
Oh, blimey. I was well away by then.
Yeah, when the clouds eventually cleared a little bit here in Birmingham to actually get a chance to see it. But yes, again, it was one of these things which I've talked about quite a few times, pointing out that the supermoon, you know, which is where it's the closest point in its orbit to the Earth, it's about 226,000 miles away, is actually 14% bigger. And to be honest, no human eye can ever spot 14% bigger moon, because of it generally. What people often see is when it's low in the sky, because you're actually seeing it then against objects which you know of a certain size, like it's a building or something like that, then suddenly you realise how big the moon is. But once it's high in the sky, of course, it still stays apparently as you always see it. So really, if you want to get the impression of how big it is, you really need to have a look at it low down in the sky.
And will we have another chance to see it tonight, possibly, for those who missed it last night?
Yes. If it's clear, have a good look out again tonight. Brightness-wise, it was very good, and because we just had some water in the sky, it cleared the air up quite well, so you actually got some good visibility with it. Good opportunity for people to get the cameras out, binoculars out, and have a good close look at the moon and see some details on it. So it was actually a very, very clear-looking moon, which was quite interesting, which I thought was quite useful for me, from my point of view, when I was staring at it, which was quite exciting. And of course, behind clouds, if people are keen on their amateur photography, you can get some great effects anyway, and you actually get to see some rainbow effects behind the clouds, which were rather good.
That's absolutely great. And what about the sun? Because we saw a spectacular sunrise yesterday morning here in London, because we got a very good view of it sort of rising over Canary Wharf, and it was this big red sort of ball, really. Today we saw nothing like it, because it was all a bit cloudy and rotten. But I'm told that a lot of the reason for the way that we're seeing the moon and the sun at the moment in quite spectacular fashion is because of the way that the smoke has been travelling across the Atlantic from all the wildfires in America.
Yes, smoke, there's very tiny dust particles from smoke combines together with water droplets in the upper atmosphere, and that causes a scattering of the light, which gives you a spectacular red effect. So a good indicator of actually what's going on in the upper atmosphere can be seen simply by the way the sun looks like at night or early in the morning. The old saying, red sky at night, shepherd's delight, red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning, was actually based on the fact that heat was rising dust particles into the air. So it gave an idea of what the weather was going to be like. In this particular case, of course, it was because of smoke particles. And in some cases, with volcanic ash in the atmosphere as well, you can actually see changes to the moon, particularly had literally a blue moon in the 19th century after Krakatoa exploded, for instance.
Wow, excellent. I always remember when you say red sky at night, it always reminds me of an old Morecambe and Wise joke, which I know is going back quite a few years. Red sky at night means the shepherd's house is on fire. But it's funny. What can you do? Listen, good to talk to you, Andrew. Thank you very much indeed.